Isn't it strange we are inclined to think of dragons, Thor, and plundering when we talk about the Vikings? That's the widely held view of the Vikings. In this video I will mainly focus on the question what and who brought an end to the legendary Vikings which captivated so many movie producers. But first let's get a quick background of the Vikings. Before we explore the reasons why their influence was so short-lived, stay with me till the end to uncover the surprising facts. They left an astounding mark on world history through exploration beyond their Scandinavian origins. Yet today they continue to be frequently misrepresented. Let's correct this quickly. Their war helmets did not feature horns, and not everyone had large beards. The Vikings spoke Old Norse, a North Germanic language that was the ancestor to modern Scandinavian languages: Danish, Swedish, Norwegian, Icelandic, and Faroese. Almost all of our knowledge about them originates from accounts by their foes. The Viking Age spans slightly more than 300 years, beginning in the mid-700s and concluding around 1066. During this period, the Vikings plundered numerous villages, seized territories, and ventured into uncharted regions of the earth. They traded as far as the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. The Vikings, however, were not just raiders and barbarians. The Vikings were prolific traders, explorers, and colonists. Evidence suggests that the Vikings even reached the Byzantine capital of Byzantium, in present-day Turkey. In addition, the Vikings raided certain areas of the Holy Roman Empire, which was headquartered in the Frankish Kingdom of Western Europe. Significant accomplishments of Viking ambition encompass the finding of Greenland. Eric the Red, who fled to Greenland after found guilty of manslaughter. There is, however, skepticism about whether Eric truly discovered the island, as the Nords had probably visited Greenland. His son Leif Erikson ventured further west to the Americas. The longships depicted as the preferred ships for the Vikings are quite correct, though somewhat less elaborate. They represented the height of maritime technology then and played a significant role in the Vikings' extensive expansion. They crossed the Atlantic centuries earlier than other Europeans. The mix of oars and sails made the vessels exceptionally adaptable in the open sea or ocean. Sails were meant to be used solely, while oars would be utilized close to shore or simply for added speed. Many consider the Viking Age began with the attack on Lindisfarne in England, which could be the first red flag why their end was imminent. A Christian monastery was raided here, initiating a series of raids across Europe and beyond. Mainly Christians began to harbor considerable hostility toward these polytheistic pagans, and attacking a monastery only worsened the situation. Thus, it isn't particularly shocking that the culture eventually diminished. Some contend that it was to avoid coercive conversion to Christianity by Charlemagne, which would fit quite well with the onset of the Viking Age. This would constitute a significant portion of the Saxon Wars, impacting Germanic tribes. As time passed, the Vikings started to lose considerable territory or succumb to Christian conversion. Rollo, a leader among the Vikings, received the crown and governed Normandy in 799. After assuring the French king of his conversion to Christianity and preventing other Vikings from entering. Gradually, the Vikings' culture and beliefs started to disappear, as they lost territory and many adopted Christianity. Earl Tostig Godwinson, an Anglo-Saxon earl, was banished from England by his brother Harald Godwinson, who was the last crowned Anglo-Saxon English king. A failed rebellion stemming from an unsuccessful attempt at governing Northumbria. His bitterness drove him to reach out to Norway's king, Harald Hardrada, persuading him to invade England. Thus, with this, King Hardrada and Earl Godwinson waged war against the King of England. Harald Godwinson, 1022–14 October 1066, also called Harold II, was the last crowned Anglo-Saxon English king. The Battle of Stamford Bridge, 1066, this battle, where the Norwegian king Harald Hardrada was defeated by the English king Harold Godwinson, is often cited as a key marker for the end of the Viking Age in England. Harald Hardrada, the last Viking king's whole army was wiped out. This was a gradual process, as it took almost 2 centuries following the decline of the Vikings for Christianity to become nearly universal across Scandinavia. Regarding Norse mythology, I would enjoy elaborating on it, but I believe it merits a dedicated video in the future. Only a small amount of genuine history was retained from such an extensive culture. Norse culture had a certain impact on Western civilization. Thursday is ultimately named for Thor's Day, and despite the conclusion of the Viking Age, it remains quite difficult to ignore those troublesome Nords. Please like and subscribe to be notified of my new videos.